deciding to boycott Donald Trump. The GOP frontrunner is scheduled to speak at AIPAC, a pro-Israel lobbying group, on Monday. But his religious critics say many of them will be no-shows, and if they do attend, they'll silently walk out when Mr. Trump arrives. The group says, quote, "This is not about policies. This is not about parties. This is about one particular person, Donald Trump, who has encouraged and incited violence at his campaign rallies. We are against the hatred, the incitement of hatred, and the ugliness that has engulfed this political season." Rabbi David Paskin is one of the protest organizers. He joins me now. Welcome, Rabbi.
Hi, Carol. How are you?
I'm good. So of those going, how many do you think will really stand up and walk out when Mr. Trump takes the stage?
It's difficult to know. As of right now, we have over 970 leaders of this movement. And that's important to distinguish between leaders and participants. 970 people have signed on our Facebook page to be a part of galvanizing the entire convention, the entire conference, to participate. So imagine 970 people going out, handing out stickers, handing out flyers, engaging people, talking with people. We could have thousands of people participating with us, and that's our goal.
But still, Rabbi, AIPAC says it has this long-standing policy to invite all active presidential candidates to its conferences during an election year. And apparently they just want to hear what all the candidates have to say. So what's wrong with just listening to Mr. Trump's message?
Right. So we respect their policy. And there may be some who would take issue with AIPAC inviting Mr. Trump to speak. But that's not the goal of this group. The goal of this group is to say that just as Mr. Trump has a right to speak, we have a right to silence him. We have a right to not be a party to the ugliness and the hatred and the vitriol that he's been spewing and that he's made a cornerstone of his campaign. You know, it's been suggested that we can't support AIPAC, we can't support a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship, while at the same time denouncing hate. Well, my answer is we have to. That's our responsibility as Jews and as Americans, to stand up for the values that we hold dear, that we respect all people, that we celebrate diversity. And, you know, in the words of the sage Hillel, if not now, when? This is the moment that we have to stand up and say, we respect our Republican friends, our Democratic friends, our independent friends. We are not about policies or politics, but we are about saying there is no place for hatred in the American political system, in America, and especially at AIPAC.
What specifically bothers you most about Donald Trump?
I think that we struggle with the bigotry, the racism, the xenophobia. And for me personally, it's his seeming disregard, his willful disregard for the safety of those people that are at his rallies. You know, I just got off the phone with someone who said that, well, the cause of that violence that we've been seeing is really the protesters. And I said, there's a certain element of truth to that. But the other side is that Mr. Trump could be standing up at those rallies and saying, enough, no more violence. We're going to allow these people to protest, and we will, if we need to, escort them out, but safely and without violence. And we will not be encouraging people to hit, offering to pay their legal fees. We're not going to encourage people to rouse up militias to perhaps protect Mr. Trump and his fellow rally goers. He has a responsibility as a leader of his party and as a potential leader of our nation to do what's right. And we haven't seen that yet.
May I ask you, Rabbi, if you are a Republican?
No one knows what I am, and it's not an issue in this particular rally.
I understand. So I was just going to ask you, it appears that Donald Trump is going to get the nomination, and he may become president of the United States. So I guess I'll just ask you the question this way. What kind of president do you think Donald Trump will be?
I have to tell you, Carol, I'm far less concerned about Mr. Trump being president as I am about all those people who have been swept up in his ugliness. You know, Mr. Trump tends to forget that we have a system of government where there are checks and balances. So he may say that he wants to do all of these things, or he may act inappropriately, but we have a Congress and we have a Supreme Court that can balance him. What concerns me most, though, and really what this rally is about, is this ugliness that has just engulfed us, that somehow it's okay for him and for other people to speak so terribly about the press, about people with disabilities, about Jews, about women, about Mexicans, about anyone who is other than Mr. Trump. And so my hope is that what this movement does is that it shines a light on the darkness that he has played a prominent role in bringing to our country and to this election cycle.
All right, Rabbi David Paskin, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Carol,
Still to
thank you.
come. You're welcome.